Hi Sierra. I'm just gonna kind of give you like a quick video general overview of a back translation instead of like because I wrote out half of a transcript and then I just kind of figured like what I feel like that's not gonna be as constructive as me just kind of trying to provide more like general feedback for you. Um, so I only did half of your transcript, and I'm just gonna kind of give you more like general things, I guess. So one of the things that I noticed throughout the interpretation was a little bit of like confusion with like hand shape, or not confusion, but not like unclarity, I guess, with hand shape for specific signs. Like a few of the signs that I noticed that I would be cautious about using in the interpretation was believe. I think I saw it signed like this, which I'd be cautious of that just because it could get confused with promise. So just for the clarity's sake of the interpretation, um, maybe signing it like this might help resolve that confusion for the consumer. Um, Another hand shape issue uh, that I saw was, I believe the sign was true business. I think what I saw, and maybe I very well could have misinterpreted this or misunderstood it, or maybe you just know a different sign than I do. Um, but was true business or something? I mean, I believe that's what you were trying to go for. I could have not seen it correctly, but I've always seen it signed like this. So, but again, just for clarity's sake, maybe ask a deaf person, ask a deaf professor. Um, oh, and one more was painting. I saw you kind of tilted, or in the interpretation, I noticed the left hand was tilted down, and it almost looked like whatever, like as in like anyway. So with that, to provide more clarity for the sign, I would be more cautious, just for clarity's sake in the interpretation again, just to make sure that that's like a little bit more clear for the consumer. Um, and then last one, and this may be like a difference in, you know, how we learned this sign, but when I was looking at your transcript, I noticed the sign for foundation. You use this, which like it's very possible that you learned it that way. I'm not super sure. Um, the way that I've always seen it is like this, like foundation, like structure kind of a thing. Um, because when I see this, like my mind goes to basic, and so I don't think that helps the interpretation for the message that you are trying to convey. Um, so, I mean, and again, this could all just be like regional sign differences, or like I've just never seen it signed that way. But instead of just taking my word for it, maybe ask a deaf professor and just like double check with people. Another thing that I think would help make the interpretation maybe a little bit more clear is the usage of facial expression. Like you did use facial expression for sure in the interpretation, but there was certain times that questions were being posed, and I think that it would be more helpful in the interpretation to see. Um, Sorry, my cat is trying to jump down, and I'm like, don't you dare. I think it would be more helpful in the interpretation to like really exaggerate and just kind of go for it. Um, and then just overall good job. Like all of this information is super hard because like I haven't watched your source video because we're not supposed to, but um, I think the information is probably just like really foreign and not really within uh, our wheelhouse of vocabulary. So again, all of this is like, I mean, because my video is the same, but I think one last thing that maybe might help is not necessarily trying to like it's separating meaning from form a little bit, because I noticed that throughout the video that there was a little bit too much of English form in there, which again, I don't know who your consumer is for your like consumer profile and whatnot, but I think something that might help make all of this a lot easier is just like chunking it into conceptual, like, informational chunks, and really just getting to like the main point. So then that way in the interpretation, there's not as much pressure on you to try to fit all of these like English words in and finger spellings, or um, trying to follow the presenter's like path, and maybe just really trying to be like, okay, like what is his goal? Like what is he trying to tell me? Instead of using all of these, metaphors that might not translate or something like that. Maybe just really kind of trying to like strip away the form and be like, what is his goal? Um, and yeah, maybe that would help. But overall, like, great job, and good luck. I hope this helped.